Hey, good evening, guys. How are you doing this evening, my friends? I'm just looking for my options here. So as you guys are coming in, go ahead and let me know where you're coming in from. And if you're looking at me and wondering what on earth's going on with my eye, believe it's a sty. There are no pigs in it, don't worry. Terrible joke, I know. I was hoping it was going away, but it seemed to get a little bit worse. But apparently the advice, if anyone out there has a sty in their eye, don't squeeze it. It's not good. So just wanted to talk to you a little bit tonight and let you know who I am. And I found the best way to let you know who I am is to actually play you the introduction to my CD called Waking Dreams into Reality. Because what it does is it gives you a very brief, about a 6-minute introduction to my life, where I came from, what my background was, and how I got to where I got to. In 2016 was when it was recorded. It was recorded in March 2016. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is people are coming in, is I'm just going to cue that up to be able to share screen and play with you guys. I'm just making sure that this is actually live on the page. Babe, is it come up live okay? How many people we got watching right now? Can you tell? Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cue that right now. So just bear with me 1 second and let me know if you can see my screen. Why is it being crazy? I've already got the Blue Jeans extension. So as we're bringing this in, I'd done this once already, so I'm not sure why it's asking me to do it again. Can you guys see this okay? Are you seeing my screen right now, baby? Okay, perfect. So I'm looking really amateurish, that's cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and play the introduction. Let me know you guys can hear it okay.
Picture your perfect life.
1 second.
So much goodness all around. Just open your...
I'm lying to you guys. We're not going to play the introduction because I don't know what I'm doing. Technical errors. Let's try that again. All right. Here you go.
Welcome, my friend. I'm Kevin Gilbert, and I invite you to take a healing journey with me. I'm going to share my experiences, insights, and discoveries as I've traveled from darkness into light. My intention is by taking you on this walk through my life, you may find some things that resonate with you. Please take anything that's helpful to you and just leave the rest behind. I'm certainly not an expert in anything, and I'm just simply sharing from my heart. Now, before we begin this walk, I need to give you a little taste of my story so far, who I am and where I've come from. I was born in a small town in Hertfordshire, England, as the youngest of 3 children. My parents gave me an incredible environment to start my life, and I was so blessed to never have to wonder where I was sleeping that evening or where my next meal was coming from. Both my parents had university backgrounds and were educated in science. My mum even stopped working to become a full-time parent, and so I was taught to read and write from a very young age. I was also introduced to nature, and that's become an important part of my life and stuck with me to this day. By the time I was 7, I was involved with all sorts of activities, ranging from modern dance and gymnastics to football and tennis, cricket and chess. I also attended various nature groups and was able to identify many of the plants and animals. As I continued through my childhood, I took on the values that my parents instilled in me. The main ones that stuck with me were these. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Religion's the biggest evil in the world. Be kind and share with other people. And violence never solves anything. My early life was incredible, and I was a very happy child. I was inquisitive and always needed to know why and how things worked. I was always fit and healthy, and I had lovely long strawberry blonde hair. But things changed when I began to attend school. My long hair and my pacifist approach coupled with being advanced for my age and not knowing about things the other kids did like TV cartoons, set me up to be bullied. Gradually, from the age of 7, I started to learn that being me was not okay. I was left out of teams at break time, and I wasn't called by my name, but I was either known as Wiggy or Twiggy. In England, at 11, you change schools to go to secondary school. When I moved to my next school, as fate would have it, the 2 main bullies ended up in my new class, so the cycle of bullying continued. I began to act out and take the pain and loneliness out on my family when I got home. So by the time I was about 12, I really wasn't a good son to my parents, and I certainly wasn't a good brother to my siblings. And it's only recently I've even begun to come to terms and have some peace and forgiveness for that time in my life. By the time I was 17, I discovered alcohol, and that I could make friends by being the one to be craziest and drink the most. Then at 18, I left home for the first time to attend university. My intention was to get a chemistry degree, but unfortunately by that time I was so hurt and lost that instead of attaining that degree, I just simply added gambling and drug addiction to my already blooming alcohol addiction. In fact, I was grabbing anything to avoid feeling and dealing with me, trying to fill that deep hole inside of myself. I remember one Christmas I told my parents a little bit about my struggles with gambling, and they put me in contact with a counsellor and also with Gamblers Anonymous. But it wasn't my decision. I just went to appease my parents. And I remember being in those rooms surrounded by people that were losing their jobs, their cars, their family, going bankrupt. And I convinced myself that they were the ones with the problem. I wasn't like these poor souls in this room. So I left. I spent the next 8 years sinking deeper into the world of addiction. I got myself arrested. I had bones broken. I lost my license and drifted further and further away from my family and from who I really was. I tried fixing myself with a relationship and ran away from England to America to get married. That lasted less than a year, and then in 2008, after losing my job and another relationship the very same day, I plummeted even deeper into the depths of addiction. I spent 2009 feeding all my addictions. On top of that, I injured my back and I was prescribed some narcotic painkillers. Well, narcotic painkillers to an addict just added another level of addiction for me. I finally hit rock bottom and realized it was time for a change. I remember the day I was at the doctor's surgery refilling a prescription, and the nurse came up to me and she offered me one of those lifestyle questionnaires. You know the ones. How much do you drink each day? Have you ever thought about self-harm? So I asked her, I said, what's the purpose of this and where are these answers going to go? And this is what she told me. She said, we have a life coach here today, and depending on how people answer this questionnaire, they may have the opportunity to meet with them. So for the very first time in my life, I was completely honest. I answered yes to just about every single question on that questionnaire. And I was given the opportunity to meet with a life coach. Her name was Rachel Sanchez. And I sat down with her and I opened up my heart and I just broke down in tears. After speaking with her, she managed to source me some funding for some counselling and she put me back in contact with Gamblers Anonymous. So about 10 years after I first entered those rooms, I was back again. But this time it was different because I chose to be there. Now through those rooms and counselling, I started to find out about what was missing in my life. A connection to an inner or higher power. And as the haze of the years of abuse started to lift, I began this journey to find the real me and my place in our beautiful world. Now this journey's not always been smooth, and I certainly didn't manage to walk away from all my addictions from day one and never look back. But as I stand here today, I'm proud to tell you I've got over 5 years sobriety, and my life finally began to come together in line with who I truly am. So now you've got a rough picture of where I came from. We can start this healing journey together. I invite you to sit back, open up your heart, and let these words sink into the deepest parts of your soul.
So that's the introduction to this CD. And as I said, that was recorded in March time 2016. And then I took a trip to Colombia. And it was meant to be a short trip to Colombia, but some things happened. while I was out there, I had some amazing opportunities. I got to spend a week in the Amazon jungle with an indigenous tribe called the Mui. We were there for the inauguration of a new Maloka. So I had an amazing journey out there. Unfortunately, I did have all my passport and ID and stuff stolen. So I haven't been able to return to Colombia until I got my green card, and I just got that a few weeks ago. So now I'm able to put the ball back into place and start planning to go back to Colombia, because while I was there, I had the blessing to be able to teach in a school in the desert. Now, this was a YU school. The YU people live in Venezuela and they live in Colombia, and a lot of them are coming across the border. And this school, the kids would walk up to like 2.5 miles, 5 miles to and from school in the desert, and it was crazy conditions out there. And their classrooms have no walls, and there's no running water at the school. So while I was there, I decided to take on the project to raise $15,000 and to be able to go back out there to fix the water supply and build 5 new classrooms. So now that my travel documents are in place again, I'm going to be looking to continue that project. But while I was out in Colombia, what a lot of it was about was continuing to discover myself. And from Colombia, I was watching a lot of my friends who were already at Standing Rock. So a lot of you know me from Standing Rock, but my journey started a long time before Standing Rock, and Standing Rock just became the place where I suddenly sprouted and had this amazing platform of people that I can now reach. So what I wanted to do was actually share some more things from my CD to give you an idea of what's on here, because what I'm using this CD for is to continue this journey. And, you know, recently I've experienced some bullying again in my life. And bullying is a really sensitive subject for me. Even listening to that introduction, it was hard not to cry, because that was a really tough time in life. And there's something my parents taught me that I've thrown out now. And it's this phrase that says, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt me. And what I've come to realize is you can heal from a broken bone. But those words that people say to you, and those things that you take on as your truth and you put deep inside you, they cut deeper than a knife, and they stay there for a long time. And they're much harder to let go and release than when someone's punched you in the face or when you've broken your arm. It's those things, those names people have called you, and those behaviors that you adopt through that does the greatest damage. So anyone who's watching, there's a huge power that we have as people, and it sets us apart. It's our communication. Our intelligence and our communication is what sets us apart in many ways from nature. And we have this amazing, amazing gift, which is our voice. And through our voice, we can have huge changes happen in the world. But through our voice, we can also destroy. We can also hurt. You know, you all read those stories in the newspaper about the kids that come home from school one day and they've been bullied, and they've got to a point in their young life where their solution is to put a belt around their neck and hang themselves and finish that life. And that's what bullying does to people. It makes people feel desperate. It makes them feel alone. So what I wanted to do with my CD, what I wanted to do was express through my poems and through my explanations to the poems some of my journey, some of the things that I've learned, and use it for medicine for anyone who's suffering from addiction, anyone who is struggling to learn how to love themselves, anyone who's struggling from depression. Because, you know, like many of the people that are watching today, I'm sure many of you have thought about ending your life. I'm sure many of you have even tried to at some stage. A lot of people attempt suicide. A lot of people become depressed. And a lot of that's caused by taking on the words from other people and believing them and letting it become your story. You know, if you grow up in a family where everyone tells you you're stupid, eventually you tell yourself you're stupid, and you run that program again and again. And you dull down that gift inside, and you lose what all your talents are. So what I wanted to do now is actually play you the final track, the final poem. There's 20 poems on this disc. And I'm going to play you a poem now. And it's called, just got to find it. It's called Picture Your Perfect Life.
Picture your perfect life. So much goodness all around. Just open your eyes and it will be found. Life's amazing when you just let it happen. Kind of like that great tune that has your feet a tapping. The difference between drifting alone or finding a place that you can call home is not something that's taught in school, but it's right there available for all. This secret we've carried since our birth. No one else can teach you your worth. If you silence the world and all its noise, sit quietly, breathe with an upright poise, you will start to hear the answers appear from the dark. It's a natural process, just like a dog's bark. We're all set up to learn this way. Life's meant to be a fun game to play. So if you're struggling and not sure what to do, look for what helps grow the love in you. For some, it's words written on a page. For others, to volunteer with those of senior age. Many of us spin or dance and sing, but we've shied away as told no riches that will bring. We're programmed to be part of a broken machine, but through constant worry and work, many become mean. It's not their fault, as they too are just doing their best, like birds feeding the chicks in the nest. It's hard to break out of the mold. Many times you'll fail, it's what you've been told. But it's never possible to fail in what you decide, unless your unique gift is what you hide. For the universe will always support your cause. We're not designed to have all these wars, the war on drugs, the war on terror. These come about from human error. For how could we hurt another human being if we all open our eyes and were truly awake, refuse to get drawn in by the stories the medias make? If we turn to each other rather than being stuck to a goggle box, for this takes more lives than even smallpox. For to die in my eyes doesn't just mean the heart stops beating. It means to waste our talents as life is so fleeting. So don't let anyone discourage you. Follow your heart and always be true. True to the voice you hear inside, for that's everyone's true guide. It's never too late to make that switch. Any old habits you're able to ditch. It just takes a belief you can make that change. No matter what, nothing's out of your range. So sit and think once you've heard these words. What would it take for you to be free as the birds? Are there stories you tell to keep yourself stuck? Do you believe a good life is just down to luck? So imagine a picture of your perfect life right this second. What is the thing to which you are beckoned? There's no right answer for you to give, but by finding the answers is the key to live. Live a life of happy contentment. No longer harbour any old resentment. Now when you can see your calling, don't kid yourself and think you'll get there without falling. But remember, the hardest journeys bring the greatest gifts. Start to walk towards your dream and everything lifts. No more will you wake full of confusion and dread, for you'll be truly living and want to bounce out of bed. So follow your heart and go get your dream. Then life can truly be all you imagined it could mean.
So that's the final poem on the CD. But there's a couple of more things that are going to come after that. You see, after each poem, what I decided to do was I decided to give an explanation to that poem. And all the poems were written down before I went in the recording studio with my good friend Corey Hess. And for a few days, I sat down and tried to write these descriptions and tried to write these life lessons out. And I just couldn't do it. So I remember calling Corey and say, hey, I've got all my poems learned. Everything's ready to go. The only thing is, I don't know what I'm going to say about these poems afterwards. And he said, well, so much of what you do is just done straight from the heart. Why don't you just come into the studio and we'll put a mic on and just see what comes out? So the really funny thing is that I haven't even heard this full album through yet. I haven't taken the chance to do that. So what I'm going to do now, for those that just heard that poem, I'm going to play you the explanation so you can understand a little bit more about the disc and how it works. So just bear with me while I cue that up for you. It shouldn't take a second.
What would it take for you to become free as the birds? As you listen to those words right now, what I was looking to do was have you look deep inside, start to question, what is it that you're being called to in life? What would make you truly happy? Is there a story you're telling yourself that's keeping you stuck? I know from my experience it's easier sometimes to live in the system and stay with what we're comfortable with. So this was meant to spark a fire inside of you or reignite that flame again. because you all know what your calling is in life. And if you listen to the silence, the answers start to come to you. And it doesn't matter whether you're a teenager or you're in your 90s, it's never too late to make that change. You know, you might have people around you who tell you that it's not possible. But remember, only you see the picture in your mind. Only you know exactly how you see the world. Everyone sees the world differently. So when you talk to someone else, they see your vision through their own perceptions of the world. So your truth is just that. It's the truth for only you. And no one else can tell you what that is or whether it's right or wrong. So if you feel yourself being drawn towards a calling, then chase that dream. 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 Chase that dream.
So I hope that kind of gives you an impression of exactly what this CD is, because it's so hard to explain. It's hard when people say, what is it? Is it an audiobook? Is it poetry? So by playing that for you, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull my phone up and I'm going to look at some of the comments now because I haven't been watching them at all. And Steph, if you want to shout anything out at all from over there that's pertinent at all to anyone that's been watching. Just bear with me a second, guys, while I pull it up on my phone. And in the meantime, I don't know what you heard in there, but the idea is there's always some medicine in this CD for you. And I wanted to let you know that one of the people that's bought it works with people with mental health issues. And this CD is now being used with their participants as part of their group work. So this is, I really would like to see this get into hundreds of thousands of people's hands. And if anyone out there has connections in the worlds of counseling, if they have connections in the world of the addiction world, if they have connections in anywhere you feel that this would be appropriate and could be helpful, I would love to talk to you. So Steph, can you put the email of letyoursoulplay@gmail.com into the comments for us? So I do also want to give you another poem from here, just to listen to. And I'm super excited because Friday night, if you're in the Denver area, I'm going to be at Cafe Cultura after the Denver Native Nation Solidarity March with Washington, D.C. So I'm going to be performing at the end of that back at Cafe Cultura, along with some other spoken word artists. I will have the CD there. And when I go up to Michigan, they've just set up a night for my poetry up there as well. And there's another one coming up in Arkansas. So I'm super excited to be able to start to share this message and talk to you about the seed of Standing Rock and how it's grown into this huge movement that's going all across the country and all across the world. And I'm just blessed to be a part of that and to be able to use that platform I was given to help other people and to help create a spark in people's life, to help be able to show people how to live from love and to help wake people up, because that's what's happening. We're all waking up right now. And more people are realizing that our role is to be protectors of this earth, not to destroy it. Our role is to be good stewards for the next generation, for our children's children, and to stand up and use our voices and be careful with our words and use our words to heal and use our words to create the dream that we want to see, to wake those dreams into reality. So let me play you one last poem. Just bear me 1 second. This one is called You Choose.
You choose. Life is good and filled with bliss. When looked at this way, there is nothing you'll miss. For focusing on all that you have and not what you lack brings floods of happiness pouring back. Did you wake up, appreciate wiggling your toes? Or did you immediately focus on all of your woes? Whatever you did, the choice was yours. You truly choose to open or close any doors. The gift of life is for us to use. I believe we're here to spread love and not abuse. But not everyone will share this view of being. So many may take a lifetime to be truly seeing. For this is all a big evolutionary game. The body only gives us an illusion of pain. It's here just as a vehicle for our soul, whose journey is truly immortal. It constantly seeks to rejoin the oneness again, just like the sea that will always collect the rain. Every rotation through this Maic wheel, designed to bring us closer to the real deal, that ultimate source of pure endless love, that will come from the journey within, not on a cloud above.
So that's the little bit of the CD I wanted to share with you guys. The link's up if you guys want to purchase a signed copy. They're available there. We've had 1,000 of these made up. So we've only got about 900 left right now. And it's going to continue to allow us to go on this journey, to share our words, to help other people realize that there's another way to live, that we don't have to live the 9 to 5, that we don't have to live stuck inside this system. And we really do have the choice to do whatever we want to do in life. And we can create the life we choose to live. So everyone who's watching, what I'd ask you to do, I've shown you a little bit of who I am tonight. You've heard a little bit of my life story. I'd ask you to share this out there so that people can really see who I am. Because a lot of people came to know me overnight and don't have an idea of my story. And I feel that my story can be powerful medicine and it can help other people to heal. And that's why I'm so open and put it out there. So I really appreciate you joining tonight. I'm going to keep this short tonight as Stephanie's heading off to spend some time with her family tomorrow. So we've got this night together. But I wanted to bring this to you and let you hear a little of my life story, let you see more about this CD so you understand what it's about. And to be able to share this message far and wide onto Facebook and let other people see this. So let your friends see this. If you know someone who's suffering with depression, if you know someone who's an addict and this can help them, share this onto their page. Give them the opportunity to hear some of this. Give them the opportunity to check out the website and listen to some of the samples. You can even go to the website and download for like 99 cents through CD Baby, 1 or 2 tracks. You just pick a track at 99 cents a piece. So you don't have to get the whole album. You can get it instantly as a download as well for the whole album. So there's many options of how you can get this medicine. Maybe it's something you could buy for a friend who's an addict, and maybe it's what's going to help them continue on that journey and get into recovery and stay in recovery. So thanks so much for joining, guys. Please go ahead and share this out into as many groups and as many places so that we can truly help the people and that we can make a difference in this world. Thanks for joining. Much love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.